Happy Thursday, y'all. It is Thursday of election week. November, what is this, 5th? November 5th? Is it already November 5th, 2020? Yeah. So, hope everybody is doing well. I am sitting here in my car because, well, I had a few errands to run, but this is the first time I've been out of the house pretty much in 13 days. So, 13 days ago, I started having some symptoms of COVID-19 and got tested just a few days later and confirmed what I thought, that I am that I tested positive for the coronavirus. And I don't know, I forgot to do the math, how many days I made it in 2020, but I thought I would maybe escape the coronavirus, but that is not the case. God, in His goodness, allowed me to get it, and for those of you that have had it, I now have a different kind of sympathy for you. It is not for the faint of heart. The symptoms for me were pretty intense, at least for about 4 days or so. Fever really high, lots of chills and body aches, lots of coughing, sleepless nights, just pretty rough patch, and kind of felt a little bit like a really intense flu for me, maybe even a little bit like pneumonia, which I've had 3 or 4 times in my life. So the coronavirus struck my household. Not only did I get it, but Andrea got it, Jackson got it. We're pretty sure the other boys probably had some mild form of it, at least. Never got them tested, but they had all the symptoms. So it definitely has run through our family. In the midst of all of this, it ran through the church. We actually had to cancel a church service because we didn't have enough people to basically put on our worship service, both preaching and music. So we did something we don't think we've ever done at Wichita Bible Church, as far as canceling because of sickness. A lot of people in our church either got exposed or were tested positive in about a week stretch. And yes, I've been asked a few times if I thought that maybe I had something to do with it, because I was one of the first, and I did have a few gatherings, one at my house, and then a class I taught in the morning the same day that I started showing symptoms, with a lot of men around me who some of them were physically impacted. So it could be that God used me to bring about a little herd immunity at Wichita Bible Church. I'm not sure, but hey, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it, and if that's the way God wanted to deal with us, then praise Him. So it's day 13, and I'm feeling way better. I am headed out to run some errands today, and I just have been thinking a little bit about being sick and some of the lessons that we can take from sickness. I would say probably the prominent thought that I've had on my mind since I first got sick, but as I've been thinking about why God allows us to get sick, I think the thing that has really come to the forefront is just the idea that our physical afflictions that we endure in this life are great reminders to us of not just the frailty of our body, but really the sufficiency of God for the task, the sufficiency of His grace to sustain us, the sufficiency of His love to comfort us, the sufficiency of His omnipotence to heal us and restore us. Affliction has a way of humbling you, has a way of breaking down your body to where you really don't have many resources you feel like you can rely on. I mean, we take medicines, and I've been popping medicine, all kinds of different kinds of stuff, home remedies, foods, vitamin C, anything you can think of. And yet, it is God who restores and heals the body, and He does it in His time. One of the things about coronavirus, for those of us that have had it now, know that your symptoms are not the same as the next person's. And so God, it only is a God who is omnipotent, who can handle each and every one of those cases. So I'm just really reminded how important the sufficiency of God is in our lives, and the importance of us not relying on our own strength, the importance of us recognizing that like Paul did in 2 Corinthians 12, that his grace is sufficient for me. And when we are weak, that is when we find ourselves strong. When I am at the end of my physical capabilities, that is when I find the strength of God to be a help. It's sad that it takes these kinds of things to remind us of such basic Christian truths, but I'm thankful for the reminder, because I know in my ego I am quick to think that I can handle things. I'm quick to think that I have great ideas and that God will back me as opposed to me backing whatever his will is for my life. So it's good to be reminded of these things through the coronavirus. I'm sure there are other things that I will take away as I reflect more and more. But for those of you that perhaps are suffering, whether with coronavirus or not, I just want to encourage you today that the grace of God is sufficient for you. There is nothing that he cannot bring you through. There's nothing he cannot give you the peace of mind as you endure through. And just keep trusting, keep praying, keep loving, keep seeking him, keep meditating on him. You will find him to be faithful. I did again in the last 13 days as I've been working my way through this mini trial in 2020. So I hope that's an encouragement to you today. Hope you have a great weekend, everyone. And thanks for joining me for Charles Chat.